I was born in Logan, Utah in 1922. I lived all of my childhood in Logan. My family never moved. My father said Logan was the most beautiful place there was. He came over from Switzerland, and after his first wife died of the Spanish flu, he married my mother. He had 4 children already and 5 more with my mother. So growing up, we were a family with 9 children. And parents from Switzerland taught their children to work. We didn't play all of the time. We did most of the housework, and my mother did more of the cooking and mending and keeping the huge garden for the family. When we did play, it was games like Kick the Can and Annie I Over. We'd also play cops and robbers and make guns out of inner tubes and pieces of wood. I was kind of a tomboy, but I also liked to play with my paper dolls and my dolls. I could play with them for hours under the tree. I went to a school where there were 6 grades in one big schoolhouse. I remember in 5th grade we made puppets. I made Build Cody, the cowboy. Church was the joy of my life. I had such a good group of young people. We had so much fun. We put on road shows and we had parties, and we would go on hikes, and we would go up to Logan Canyon, and we just had a good time. It was a real nice group there. We'd have bonfires and go up hiking. We'd go up to Old Juniper and go up the first dam. We had a golden green ball every year. I graduated from Logan Senior High. That was grades 10 to 12. I would walk and stop at my friend's house. It was about half-hour walk. I loved my history classes, but my favorite was home economics, especially cooking and sewing. I remember making aprons. We had school dances, but you didn't need a date. For our homecoming, I had been attendant to the Queen. I made a red Swiss polka dot long dress. At the big dance after the football game, we paraded down and everyone clapped. I knew everyone in high school. Margaret, College and Waves, excerpts from oral interview when she was 93. After graduating from Logan High School, I decided to go to Utah State Agricultural College. That's where most of my friends went too. I was 19 and wanted an education. I would walk 5 blocks from home to the college with my friends. It was a great time. I took secretarial science, like shorthand and typing. I was pretty good. I didn't want to ask my parents to pay for college, so I had to work to pay for my tuition. I think it was $80 a year. The second year, I got a job as secretary to the director of public relations for the college. I couldn't take as many classes, but I enjoyed the lectures in the auditorium from the guest speakers. I got good grades and went well prepared. I went to Utah State for 2 years, and then I stopped to join the Waves. I wanted to do something, and I liked the uniform. I went to Salt Lake City to sign up. I took the train for the first time, and it was my first time in a big city. When I met with the recruiters, I didn't give them an answer, so some time later, 2 recruiting officers came to my home. My parents did not want me to join the military, but Aunt Anna came down from Canada to help convince them it would be the best. I was 21. I first went to the Women's Naval Training Center at Hunter College in New York for 2 months. That's where we had basic training. I was excited, but not scared. In the city, I got to go to the top of the Empire State Building. It was the tallest building in the world. At Hunter, I remember doing calisthenics and marching on the grounds. I had pretty hair and I didn't want to cut it, so I rolled it up tight so it wouldn't look long. After that, I took a train to Cedar Falls, Iowa, to get special training in administrative support for 2 weeks. We each had desks, but then we would go to the lounge. All the girls smoked, and one of them, Sandy, came up next to me and she jumped. She thought I had been smoking, but I had a pencil in my hand. That really surprised her, I remember that. Then there was another time at a dinner, and people were trying to get me to take a drink. There was a boy there from my hometown, and he told them to stop. I was so grateful to him. At the end of my training in Cedar Falls, I got my assignment to the Treasure Island Naval Base in San Francisco, and got a job in the Officers' Armed Guard. I was chosen to be secretary to the commanding officer, and I would take shorthand and type out orders for the men to ship to Japan. These were the officers, and they would come in and pick up their assignment to see what ship they would go on. The Waves had a barrack there. I remember shopping at the ship store during our free time, although there wasn't much to buy. I got tired of my uniform and liked to wear civilian clothes whenever I could. We would also go to the movies. My favorite movie star was Robert Taylor, and there was Frank Sinatra and Grace Kelly and Lucille Ball. And I really liked Jeanette MacDonald and Nelson Eddy. They used to sing duets. There would be dances, too. Some were at the hotels like the Fairmont. My favorite band was Glenn Miller. I loved to dance. There was also a lounge on base where people liked to gather. I would go to the lounge on Sunday afternoon. I guess they liked to hear me play. They would call out songs and I would play them. Some of the songs I remember were Somewhere Over the Rainbow and Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree with Anyone Else But Me.
I was born in Ogden, Utah, at our family home. My parents had come over from Germany and Switzerland and met and married in Ogden. I was the youngest of 4 children. My mother wrote to her family that they were the proud parents of a 10-pound baby boy. We had not found a name yet because we were expecting a girl. My brothers were happy, but my sister Hilda was so disappointed that I wasn't a girl that she made up for it by dressing me like one, even for my picture when I was older. When I was 5 or 6, I was seriously ill. I had an acute infection in my neck, out of which Dr. Nelson drained a cup of pus. The operation occurred in my home on a bed. All I can remember is taking the ether. I still have the scar. Shortly after this, I was confined to bed for some time, first getting measles and then rheumatic arthritis. Mother called in Bishop Robbins, who gave me a blessing. Mother related that I became much better after this. Mother was primary president of our ward, and she would take me wherever she went. I hated it when I had to go into the women's restroom with her, but it was fun being a drummer in the primary band. When I was in 6th grade, I got a scar over my right eye that I still have. This is a result of me and my friends playing with calcium carbide and mixing it with water to form an explosive gas. We put a can over it and lit a match. I did not get my head out of the way in time. I was baptized and confirmed a member of the church by my father, who called me by my brother's Ralph name before he got it right. We lived next door to my father's brother and my cousins, who were good friends. They were also in my mother's primary. I graduated from primary and was ordained a deacon by my father. While a deacon, I was president of one of the quorums. When I was 15, I was ordained a priest by my father and was secretary of the quorum. In Mutual, I was elected leader of the Explorers and captain of the softball team, which won all but 2 games. I attended Ogden High School. It was brand new in 1937 when I was in the 10th grade. It was a grand school, and I felt privileged to go there. I studied hard and did well. I especially enjoyed history and biology. However, I took a business course in high school and decided in my senior year to go to dental school. My interest in dentistry started in junior high when I gave a report on orthodontics from the Reader's Digest. I graduated from Ogden High School on June 1st, 1939. I was 17 but would turn 18 in a few weeks. After graduating from Ogden High School, I lived at home and attended Weber College in Ogden for a year. In the summer after my year at Weber, I spent some time in West Yellowstone, Montana. While there, I learned that my father was in the hospital after what appeared to be a heart attack. I was relieved and thankful that he was able to recover and come home. After the summer, I attended Utah State Agriculture College for 1 year, 1940 to 1941, taking pre-dental courses. I was 19. I found out later that my future wife, Margaret, was also attending Utah State at the time. I then applied to the University of California and was accepted for their dental program, but was called on a mission to the eastern states. The call was written in beautiful calligraphy and signed by the entire First Presidency, Heber J. Grant, J. Reuben Clark, and David O. McKay. My mission call was announced in our local newspaper, as well as a party given in my honor at the 17th Ward. A few days later, I boarded a train for New York. Since my father worked as a clerk for the Union Pacific Railroad in Ogden, I was able to get a ticket that allowed me to travel for free as a dependent. I started my mission on June 29, 1941 in Albany, New York. I had just turned 20. I had never been back east and was excited to do my best. I had some wonderful experiences on my mission. I was able to open new branches, conduct meetings for the public, hold discussions with college students, and get to know the members there. While in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, my companion and I were able to get several articles in the local papers, even once a week at one point. I was released June 24th, 1943. I drove a car from Albany, New York, and had some members of the church with me. I came home to another reception at the 17th Ward Chapel. My mother wrote in a letter to my Aunt Clara, Kenneth arrived home in the night, so it was his first day home. He spent 2 years in the Eastern States Mission. Kenneth is fine and good. It's a great joy to have him home. He has a testimony of the gospel of Jesus Christ. To me, that means everything. World War II was in full swing when I got home, and I was ready to enlist. I applied for the Navy quota, but was rejected, and I thought all was lost. But the University of California said I could enter the accelerated dental program for military either as a civilian or in the Army quota. The Army accepted me. I was inducted into the Army on September 25th, 1943 at Fort Douglas in Salt Lake City. I took the train to San Francisco, California to start my training as private first class, student status. I was in the Army now.
Hi, I'm Margaret Name. Here is my deep story. Do you want to know how Ken and I met and got engaged? Well, I was in the Waves barracks in Treasure Island. I had a girlfriend whose husband was in dental school with Ken. They were John and Joanne, and they introduced us. The first date we had, he walked up the path in his khaki uniform to where the barracks were, and I looked up and thought, that's who I'm going to marry. I wanted to marry him the minute I saw him. We knew each other for 6 months before we were engaged. Ken would come from San Francisco, where he was going to dental school, across the bridge to Treasure Island, and we would go the Fairmont, one of those big hotels. We'd go dancing. I loved to dance. I would rather dance than eat any day. And one night Ken was taking me home to the barracks at Treasure Island, and we were on a train together, and I noticed something in his pocket. And you know what I said to him? You have a ring in your pocket, don't you? And he pulled it out, and there it was. I should have waited. He probably wanted to give it to me when we got home and give me a kiss. But I made him give it to me on the train. Ken made the ring. He worked with gold in the dental lab. He set the diamond himself. He was very proud of that. Anyway, we were married in the Salt Lake Temple. We had 3 days leave. We took a train. My mother made my wedding dress. I sent her the material and pattern, and we had a reception in Logan at a friend's house. And then we came back and lived in a nice second-floor apartment on Judah Street in San Francisco and started our family. And the rest is history.
Hi, I'm Kenneth Russell Krey. Let me tell you my deep story. I was born on June 19, 1921 in Ogden, Utah. My father, Paul Frederick Krey, was born in 1884 in Saarbrücken, Germany. My mother, Marie Zimmermann, was born in 1882 in Bern, Switzerland. They met in Ogden and were married in the Salt Lake Temple on October 30, 1907. They had 4 children and I was the youngest. Robert was the oldest, then Hildegard and Ralph. They were all born in Ogden just like me. I married the love of my life, Margaret Louise Name, on October 24, 1944, also in the Salt Lake Temple. We had 7 cute children and 34 grandchildren. Our first child, Keena, married Kent Price, and they had Christina, Krey, Camber, Carrie and Kevin. Our next 2 children were twins. Janet married Russell Thompson and they had our first grandchild, Lisa. Then came Jenny, James, Rebecca and Rachel. Russell, the other twin and our first son, married Sharon Skousen. Their children were Angeline, Dane, Misty and Krista Lee. Barbara, our middle child, married Brent McCandless. They had 6 children, Julie, Chad, Kenneth C., Kyle, Kim and Ashley. Then came Kathleen, also known as Katie, who married Steve Humphrey, and their children were Ryan, Nicole, Chad and Matthew. Katie later married Michael Gom, who had 5 more children to add to the family. We thought we were finished, but then after 4 more years 2 more boys came along. James Michael was born June 7, 1958, and he married Carolyn Shoup in 2007. Carolyn was the mother to Emily, Janie, Sherry, Cara Lee, and James. So Mike had an instant family of 5 children. And last but not least came Kenneth Russell Krey Jr. He was born May 3, 1959. It was just 11 months after Mike. I always said it was because Ken couldn't wait to be with his brother. Kenny married Heidi Predovich and they had 5 children. The oldest was actually my namesake, Kenneth Russell Krey III. Then they had Calvin, Cassandra, Jesse, and my youngest grandchild, Sarah, who was born in 1999, over 30 years after my first grandchild. Thank you for letting me share my life with you. I love my family.
Happy birthday, dear Kathy. Happy birthday to you. For she's a jolly fellow, for she's a jolly fellow.
Can I stand up?
It's like a forest fire. Wow. What long you put.
What
Well,
happened?
look up here. Let us see your beautiful 22nd face.
What a cardiovascular.
Hey, Mike. Say hi. What?
Sprechen Sie Deutsch when you get back, okay? You got the one ball out, put the other one up in there. Bye, big boy. You want to get back in there.
Grandpa,
She's a
give
traveling girl, isn't she?
Yeah, give Grandpa a kiss.
Big kiss.
Kiss.
Kiss, Granddaddy.
Kiss.
Big kiss. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Big hug. Give Granddaddy a hug. Hug. Oh, yeah.
Kina? Kina! Kina! Who's that? Say Kina. Yeah.
Look, Ken, what's this? Sideburns. 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 Mustache. Mustache. Sideburns. Oh, good.
Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ken. Happy birthday to you.
For he's jolly
Fellow for each. Oh, Grey Mary ain't what used to be. Ain't what it used to. Two girlfriends.
Did it flash? Get out of here, Ken.
Okay. May 5th, 1974. Camber's blessed. Ken and Margaret are here for the occasion. Camber, say something, Mommy.
Say hi to Daddy? Oh, you better turn the mic around. Oh, that's all right. That makes a difference. Okay, honey. That's how we celebrate things. It's okay, honey, that's all.
Pick up the microphone there. Now put it up to your mouth and say happy birthday to Daddy.
Happy birthday.
Sing your happy birthday song. Pick it up and sing happy birthday to Daddy.
Happy birthday, Daddy.
Hold it a little farther away from your mouth.
Daddy. Happy birthday to Daddy.
Who else's birthday is it, Krey?
Kenny.
Who?
Kenny.
Oh. Here comes the wild motorcyclist. Roaring down the road. How'd you like it? Look over here. Say something.
That was great. It's the greatest race I ever